Hello, everyone. I'm Siren Jag. I'm a makeup enthusiast and a commentator on the drama end of the true crime community here on YouTube. I'm also a panel hopper, and I do part time music and comedy and anything else I like here on the platform. I'm here tonight. Well, I guess it's early in the morning right now because I'm recording this very, very late. I'm here to delve back into the chat comments, and I realize it's been a minute, but as you can see, there's been quite the amount of drama that's happened in the community since I've done one of these. All this that's on my face will be in the description, and what's on my eyes has been what is been commonly termed as the uh, holiday bullshit that is released every year in the beauty community, the community, if you will. Man, ooh, I got a cat hair. Ollie strikes again, and he's not even out here. Uh, but it'll be in the description. So let me get set up and share my screen because we have quite the slate. I realize I've been working quite a bit, but I have had a lot of stuff sent to me, and I've collected here and there just a scooch, just a scooch. Oh, and while I'm getting this set up, if you see um, this screen, I need a break to blow my nose or take a drink or whatever. That's my little rule I set for myself these days. So, be that, it just kind of works. Let me get going. As I said, we've got quite the show. Now, I term this the symphony of horrible people. Did you all know that Natasha Cooper is a gaming video creator? I didn't either. But this popped up in my Facebook. To stay up to date where she's going live, I could sign up here for text or email alerts. Why would I do that? When she's always bouncing the heck right back to YouTube. She's just right back to YouTube, right back to YouTube, right back to YouTube. 17 times now? 18 times now? When she's not even supposed to be there? There's no need. And what games is she playing other than with other people's money? Oh, here's Jess K. And of course, the little rule I try to set and usually break is if you're a creator, you don't get redacted. These comments do go quite a ways back. So some of this uh, YouTube community drama involvement is quite dated, but it's not mean. Why the hell should we help? She put you and your family down, as well as your community. This is referring to Andrea's mom, who posted a PayPal fundraiser for herself to help with her financial situation. And she took a tremendous amount of flack for this, despite the fact that NC herself posts or posted, excuse me, she posted roughly 5,280 PayPal pools, as long as she could get away with them. But apparently, anyone else posting a PayPal pool was a problem. Why is anyone else allowed a PayPal pool? Why can't they be responsible with their money? Meanwhile, she can't manage to even stay hired as a creator on YouTube in her job, because she's such a horrible person that even when she bounces back under the radar, she can't stop attacking people. So she loses every channel. Every channel. Every channel. Oh, but Andrea's mom's fundraiser was the problem in the community, right? That fundraiser was creating the undue stress in the community, the financial burden. Mm-hmm. All the time I've watched NC, which isn't long, by the way, but whatever, I can honestly say I have never seen her make a stream to bash someone that was not initiated by their hate bashing. Well, let me clue you in, sport. Let me clue you in. When I left NC, she started weeks of streams to attack me. And I didn't do a thing to her. Oh, after she started attacking, I found places to hang out, and I finally responded because she was spying on me. As she do. And she did the same thing at the same time to save Robbie. Oopsie. I know they want us to change our clocks back because of the fire. Because you change your battery smoke detectors, that kind of stuff, but I just get tired of it. What? You think we have daylight savings time because of smoke detectors? Girl! Here's some education for you. In the 1800s, scientists and the railroad system came up with the time zone system because prior to that, every city had their own system of time based on, the sun and their own system of commerce. But because everything was, really difficult to deal with in business, they wanted to standardize things. So they all came up with time zones. And then in the 1900s, in the interests of uh, conserving energy uh, in the northern hemisphere, because almost all of the countries in the world are in the northern hemisphere, they started proposing that they hit daylight savings time for the winter months. And the first country to adopt this was Germany, right around the end of World War One. And the US actually adopted it in 1918. The actual benefit is pretty well debated. They think there's the actual benefit might be about 0.5%, or it could be a plus or minus up to about an increase in uh, energy use of about 1%. Their studies are iffy. So it's not about your smoke detectors. I'm sorry. Sorry. Oh, one of the mods posted back here. This was around November 4th. I'm raising 5,000 until 12/1 for a true crime expense fund. Can you help? Oh, I guess they can't help with this one. Darn it. What did PayPal decide about your PayPal status there, Miss Cooper? Guess you should have rethought some of those joke titles. No parent puts YouTube ahead of a child. Oh no, they shouldn't put YouTube ahead of a child. Did you all enjoy Saturday? How Natasha disengaged herself from uh, the Mrs. P drama, supposedly to concentrate on the impending birth of a grandchild that would take up so much of her time, only to dive right back into drama involving mandolin and hooker? Just go right back into more drama. Just plowed right back into it. Yeah, why don't you lie some more? Lie some more, Miss Cooper. Just your chat'll just eat it up. Eat it right up. Eat it. Eat them groceries. Eat it. They so dumb. They so dumb if they think that she's not putting YouTube ahead of a child. Great grammar there, sport. Mass reporting is not being fired from YouTube. You know, mass reporting does not get your channel terminated, right? YouTube comes along and investigates. Real people come along and look at that. And if your channel's terminated and YouTube is your job, that's a firing. Oh, here we have Scotty making an old comment. And in YouTube speak, this is an old comment, months old. To Lycan saying we should make a video like a special news report. It could say, this just in, we have learned that Natasha Cooper's aunt died due to being squished after Natasha fell on her. Ooh. Bad form, Scotty. However, this comment was at least a couple of months before Scotty joined up with Natasha Cooper and left Jamie's friendship. Left it. Left it in favor of Natasha's greener pastures and wonderful sub count. Even though I don't remember whose sub count was higher. It may have been Jamie's, but who am I? But Natasha Cooper's aunt died to being squished after Natasha fell on her. Bad joke. Bad joke. But remember that, because this comment that I'm going to show you, someone she loves will die. It will crush her. Oh, I could not write it better. I could not write it better. Good job, you. Is it just me, or does it seem like Hooker's been hanging out with some shady people with everything we've heard today? Shadier than Natasha? Shadier than the royalty chat? Does it get shadier than Natasha? I suggest everyone go and unscripted from her. Well, okay. You go do that. Whatever that is. I guess you're going to ad lib. Putridness. What is this word? I'm not knowing. I think you mean putrescence, sport. I hope Hooker didn't know and will stand with Natasha. Well, spoiler alert. I don't think that worked out. Don't think so. Man, I'm getting tired. Why Hooker need legal fees for? Why do you care? You weren't donating. She's suing Noodle Mash. Laugh, laugh, laugh. Is she? How do you know? It's not what her fundraiser says. Doesn't say anything near that specific. Nearly. Sorry. I'm tired. Have you asked her what she's doing with it? I've heard things. I'm just saying. You know what they say about assumptions. Her name being dragged, that ruined her photography business. You really think she titled her photography business Hooker's Photos? You really think she advertises that she is known as Hooker on YouTube? And that she has a channel with 1,200 some odd followers? Oh, but she's so popular, I must go have my photos done by this person. Girl. And you think because she was so popular on YouTube with her channel of just over 1,000 people that some person dragging her on YouTube ruined her photography business in a nation of 350, 360 million people? You need some perspective. Then someone else said, I thought legal fee on hookers for Mrs. Portland. Well, I guess you were proven wrong. I've been angry typing and deleting all night. Morals gotcha. And you're right, they have none. How do you figure? But you are correct in one thing. NC's morals have been consistently money oriented. Money, 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 money. Don't do anything to interfere with my money. Money, 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 money. Didn't she just say, oh, I have no friends? And you all sat there and listened to that as subs. And you accepted it. You accepted she doesn't view any of you as friends. Money, 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 money. It hurts my heart to hear you cry, and I cry with you. I would wager you may never have heard NC really cry. Is this like that scene in Conan the Barbarian where Valeria is on the funeral pyre and Conan still doesn't cry, so the other little thief friend has to cry for him? That movie had some great music, though. And don't you tell me it didn't, because I will say you're wrong. Them talking about victimizing people with ideations, ignoring when someone tells them the truth in the chat, all while doing exactly what would drive a less strong person to self harm. What kind of bullshit? What kind of truth has NC said? And what has anyone supposedly said that would cause someone to do that? But we're going to get to this because a bunch of this drama hasn't happened yet when I took this comment. River Rat saying, what has Tasha lied about? Where have you been? Are you even in NC's chat? She has lied about so many things that it all runs together into a glorious cacophony. But we will start with the obvious. We will start with the freaking obvious. When she said that the 20K was going to be used for the legal defense of her or anyone else who needs it. or anyone else who needs it. River rat. Or anyone else who needs it. I caught this one. My oldest son is gay. He is nothing like Siren. Siren is weird and strange and bi. And I take weird and strange as compliments. Normal is boring. Oh, did you all know? I'm now an ordained minister. Speaking of weird and strange, I'm ordained in the Universal Life Church. I can perform your wedding. I can perform your funeral. I can come give the benediction at your graduation. Well, I mean, I could do that before. I cannot come perform your bris. No. No, 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 no. No. So I'm officially more of a pastor than some other pastors on here. Huh. And all it took was a few clicks. But now, come here, kitty. Come here, buddy. Oh, goodness. Come on. Here's Ollie to come get into my makeup. Mrs. Portland, God love her. I'm going to get through this as quickly as I can. I'm so thankful knowing I was able to make amends with Robbie and several others. Since knowing I was done wrong in court this month and knowing my mental health rights were violated and my freedom of speech was taken from me. Mrs. Portland, what the hell? You were given some horrible advice by a certain lady in a recliner. You were told that she would be all you needed instead of getting actual help with that attorney from that 20K or any help raising that money for the attorney. And you were told by her that it would be okay not to reveal your diagnoses to the court. And by doing that, you were prevented from getting an actual court advocate. So the only one who violated anything on your part was that certain lady in the recliner. But your freedom of speech was not taken from you. You can speak in any regard that you like. You just cannot attack Noodle Mash publicly. And no one can help trolls sending you garbage. Change your email. Block them. But when you respond to them publicly, you're making it worse. And of course, people are watching you. Of course, people are watching you. And I know Robbie supports you now, but I also know from talking to people that you've been advised not to appeal because you don't actually talk to Noodle Mash. And this order doesn't affect you in the slightest. It doesn't affect your job prospects because you're totally disabled. You can still say whatever you like privately. And for once, if you would just listen, not appealing is free. Hey, buddy. I'm very thankful to Natasha. Are you? As I privately asked her to be my advocate in court. 2 days prior to the court hearing? No, honey. It was Natasha's plan all along to be your advocate. She didn't want to get you proper help. Don't lie for her. The person who has continued to comment saying these people are just out to use me, that's a bald-faced lie. Was it a lie when I told you that? And I'm not being used and I'm not being taken advantage of. We'll see in the later posts if she still feels that way. Also, since my freedom of speech and my voice was silenced on YouTube, she makes constant posts. Does her voice sound silenced? Just to let everyone know, I also speak daily with several of you through Messenger. Not sounding silenced. Hey, buddy. Message to update everyone. Seems yet again Natasha has been accused of making problems for me in court. Honey, of course she made problems for you in court. It was her advice that kept you from getting an actual advocate. And you're saying she wasn't reprimanded by the court in any way, but I've heard from other people she was. Natasha did not cause any problems during your hearing. I mean, you did lose. That's a big problem for you, apparently. I mean, not really, because this doesn't affect your life in any way. It's only a problem for Natasha because she got her pride hurt. New message. Really sounding silenced. I spent several hours on the phone trying to get myself legal help. Honey, there's no need for that. Since my mental health rights were violated, what? I was never heard in court. I was completely legally ignored and neglected. You got to speak for yourself. Get down, Betty. Oh, goodness. Oh, goodness. But she finally says she's going to get back to paint pouring, doing cooking live streams, crocheting tutorials. Please do that, Mrs. Portland. Stop worrying about trying to appeal, because it would not be successful. So no, I will be back, and I will also reinstate all of my 8 channels. Why do you need 8 channels? Why do you need 8 channels? And I will rebuild and fight to getting myself monetized. Well, here's a hint, Mrs. Portland. Stop changing your channel name. No one knows where to find you. People don't go typing out your address, your YouTube address. They type in the channel name on the search bar. And if you keep changing it, no one knows where to find you. Leave your channel name alone. Trigger warning for everybody. For everybody. This is the one you get. And you all know why I'm giving it. After what was accidentally leaked on Mama Knows Best stream. And Jessica Lynn and Natasha Cooper played it again and 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 again dozens of times. Deb Diamond said, no one on YouTube needs to play this. And she's right. They don't. Because it could be triggering. No one knew at the time what was going on. It could have triggered people who had attempted self-harm. It could have triggered people who are victims of domestic violence. Deb Diamond was the smartest one in Natasha Cooper's chat. Do you think anyone listened? Do you think anyone listened? I can tell you who didn't listen. Who do you think didn't listen? Nana Sue saying, who goes on YouTube and talks about this? I can tell you who didn't go on YouTube and talk about this. Voices for the Voiceless didn't intend to go on YouTube and talk about this. It was a leak. And you know who did go on YouTube and talk about this? Jessica Lynn, who played it dozens of times. Piki, who made a second video. And Natasha Cooper, who played it dozens of times. So why don't you, Nana Sue? May I call you Nana Sue? Why don't you talk to them? You know, since they're all close and all. Cloud chasing around here, ha ha ha. Natasha is the cloud. What do you think clout is? I looked up clout for you. I looked it up for you. Clout, noun. Informal, a heavy blow with the hand or a hard object. Like this. Oh, I have a bell now. Oh, you mean the second one. Influence or power, especially in politics or business. Well, I hate to tell you, but Natasha Cooper has a channel with 1,500 subscribers. On YouTube, which has channels with like 30 million, 40 million people. She has no clout. Even in the true crime community, she has no clout. I could name like 4 or 5 right now channels that have more subscribers than that. Save Robbie has more. Caitlin Crafton have more. Granny's Watching has more. Surviving the Storms has more. Voices for the Voiceless has more. She has no clout. Oh, does she want to count the heavy blow with the hand or a hard object? Well, that one sucked. They are making it content. You know whose stream you're on, right? They played it. Natasha played it dozens of times. Dozens of times. I'm going to put that down. It's going to start ringing itself. And then someone else said, the hypnosis is real. Hypnosis. Hypnosis. Noun. The induction of a state of consciousness in which a person apparently loses the power of voluntary action and is highly responsive to suggestion or direction. Its use in therapy, typically to recover suppressed memories or to allow modification of behavior by suggestion, has been revived but is still controversial. So, state of consciousness apparently loses the power of voluntary action responsive to suggestion or direction. Kind of like when someone keeps saying that Douche Canoe keeps saying that no one's donating. You'd better keep donating and prove him wrong. Hypnosis. Oh, and then the chat really starts getting foul. Kim was crying and was hoarse, and they started saying, being strangled would do that to someone's voice. And he keeps going. Choke out alert. Oh, but Kelly saying, always be kind in chat. If you feel you have nothing nice to say, take a break. Let the moderators deal with trolls and sit back and enjoy the stream. Well, how the heck have they been doing, Kelly? How's Natasha's chat been doing, Kelly? How the heck have they been doing, Kelly? You think your reminders have helped? Someone saying, ha 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 ha, right. We're saying you're obsessed. Stop watching us chat as they watch Mama Knows Best's chat. dozens of times. If she took pills, they would have called the cops, not some friend. Well, newsflash to all of you in this chat. We don't go keeping track of where people live. That's doxing. Who would we call at what police department? They obviously don't care about the emergency. Who do you think was trying to get a hold of Grafton? You have no idea. You heard in the call that people were trying to reach Grafton, that they reached Grafton. What is everyone supposed to do? You want people to run around like the Keystone Cops? Forget, no one has their personal information. That's doxing. They aren't you. Oh, and someone being cute, looking at a stream by voices for the voiceless, saying, "Is that a man or something unhuman?" I hope she reported the shit out of you. Jilly Bear, finally seeing some sense, saying, "Good heavens, we so need a palate cleanser. Bring on Karen videos, paranormal, insane animals again." You think they listened? You think they listened? Nope, just played it a few more times. Yeah. One of the mods trying to convince people of this, saying she, Natasha, doesn't even think about you. All Natasha does is think about other people on this platform. And she lies about not thinking about other people on this platform. She constantly thinks about other people on this platform. That's all she concerns herself with because that's all the content she has. She might try to throw in a true crime stream maybe once a month. But she doesn't do them because she doesn't get paid as well when she does them. She said that herself. Oh, this is cute. The parents of the youths at Case's church should be worried about their kids being around the youth pastor. Why? 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 Because you don't like the youth pastor's wife? Because you don't like the youth pastor's wife, and you have no idea what church this is, by the way, but because you don't like this random church's youth pastor's wife, the parents of the youth pastor's students should start, I guess, rallying to have the youth pastor replaced. Make that make sense. And then show some proof as to why these parents should have any concern about the youth pastor himself. The youth pastor is the disturbing bit. Why? Why? Prove something. Wonder what her husband, Case, wonder what her husband would do if he knew she was on the internet. Like he doesn't know she's on the internet. He knows she's on the internet. She's monetized. She's bringing in income. He knows she's on the internet. Some youth pastors only become youth pastors for nefarious reasons. Uh, Proof? And what does that have to do with Case's husband? And somehow Natasha Shat thinks they're the good guys. Kelly, hey Kelly, it's time for that reminder. I'd fire every one of them if they were my friends and have an intervention for Natasha Cooper addicting. You fire friends? I thought you just stopped being your friends. Excuse me, but it's time for your friend performance evaluation. We're going to go through, uh, we're going to rate you on cleanliness and punctuality and attentiveness to my needs on ratings of 1 to 5. And we're going to average all that, and you're going to get a raise based on your performance review. Uh, um, and what is Natasha Cooper addicting? Might as well face it, you're addicted to coops. We all donated to the 20K. Aren't worried what she did with it. It's now of y'all's business. What? Those aren't sentences. I donated to the 20K and I would like to know what was done with it. Of course, I'm 99.44% sure what was done with it. Oh, we're back to this. C and K was choking each other out. At least we've advanced from only Crafton choking Kim out. We're now on a sex game. So at least it's a little bit of advancement. They're the scammers. Oh, I'm sorry. It wasn't NC this whole time. It's the people pointing out her scamming that are the real scammers. That's how it works. I knew there had to be a twist. I knew it. Jennifer W. coming up with their broke back bitches. Kim and Crafton are broke back bitches? How does that work? They're opposite sexes. Not surprised with their comment though, because she is the one who's one of the two I've mentioned who were completely obsessed with my penis. She, Mama knows best, only has people show up to hate on and watch Natasha. How would you know that? Are you there to hate on and watch Natasha? If you aren't there to do the same, you have no idea. Unless, of course, Natasha lied about never watching her And she's there watching and is also there hating on and watching Natasha. Is Natasha in Mama Knows Best chat to hate on and watch herself? Natasha's hating on herself? We've gone in full inception. It's streamception. Oh no. Ugh. I can't think about it. Mm. Mm-mm. They are scared the two top dogs will take them out. Ha 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 ha. Natasha Cooper and Jessica Lynn are the two top dogs. Under what metric? Well, NC is certainly the most terminated. I mean, by law of averages, if you throw Jessica Lynn in there, they're the most terminated. So, how are they the top dogs? There are still creators with more subs. Who are they taking out? Because if they're mouthing off, they can just be ignored. Sorry. GW got a big mouth, but that big mouth and Natasha's big mouth could make the change that could help protect creators and subs. Not saying be best friends. Now, who do you know that they've ever protected? What other creators have they ever protected? NC claimed to protect me briefly. How did that work out? NC claimed to protect Mrs. Portland briefly. How did that work out? So, what change could they create that will protect anybody? Why would you want granny subs when most used to be your subs? Ha 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 ha. Because Jessica Lynn has thousands of them that Natasha doesn't have. That represents thousands upon thousands of dollars that Natasha Cooper wants. Likewise, Natasha has 1,500 subs that Jessica Lynn would like to have, and that represents thousands upon thousands of dollars that Jessica Lynn would also like to have. So, random mod who I have redacted, that's why. They all have their wish lists full and ready for everyone who works or budgets for Christmas to pay for it. You have no idea who has a wish list unless someone has said something about it. And newsflash, people in NC's community have wish lists too. And those wish lists are just as full and just as ready for all those people who work or budget for Christmas. Haven't heard NC say anything about doing any Christmas fundraiser. Have you? But you're ban evading. Ha 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 ha. Yes, NC is ban evading. She got herself reported again tonight with that tirade on mandolin. She can't help herself. I can't figure out how all these people who were dragged by Kim and Crafton end up being their friends. Blackmail, hate bonding, psychological issues. It's called people skills. It's called apologies. It's called making amends. Hey, buddy. I guess we're coming back. Oh, goodness. You're a big kitty. My question is the nobody should be playing this. Y'all remember that? Y'all remember that? What the hell was that about? They were supposedly going to be thrown into crisis because of something being played. Makes no sense. Well, let's make it make sense for this person who's a mod. A trigger in psychology is a stimulus, such as a smell, sound, or sight that triggers feelings of trauma. A trigger is a reminder of past trauma. This reminder can cause a person to feel overwhelming sadness, anxiety, or panic. It may also cause someone to have flashbacks. It can cause someone to lose track of their surroundings and relive a traumatic event. Sometimes triggers are predictable. In other cases, triggers are less intuitive. Some people use trigger in the context of other mental health concerns. In these cases, a trigger can be a cue that prompts an increase in symptoms. When a person is in a threatening situation, they may engage in a fight or flight response. The body goes on high alert, prioritizing all its resources to react to the situation. Functions that aren't necessary for survival, such as digestion, are put on hold. One of the functions neglected during a fight or flight situation is short-term memory formation. In some cases, a person's brain may misfile the traumatic event in its memory storage. Rather than being stored as a past event, the situation is labeled as a still present threat. When a person is reminded of the trauma, Their body acts as if the event is happening, returning to fight or flight mode. That is why when they said nobody should be playing this, that is what the hell that was about. So you can't say you didn't learn anything. Now listen to this foolishness. Voice for the voiceless, if was nurse, could be charged or censored of her license for accessory after fact. All knows a nurse of any kind is a mandated reporter. When no one knows where Kim and Crafton live and they have no idea who to call. They think somehow magically, because they can't call anyone, that someone is going to be charged with a crime for not reporting or somehow lose their license. And it gets dumber after this, but we'll get to that. Funny, everybody over on that side always claims they're a mandate reporter. Wonder why they didn't report that issue if it was that serious. Well, guess what, sport? Guess what? Demands on a mandated or mandatory reporter vary from state to state. For example, in my state, there's something called a mandatory reporter. Not just a mandated reporter, they are different. And a mandatory reporter is literally anyone. And a mandatory reporter, I learned, is required to report anyone taking advantage of a vulnerable adult, say for financial gain. So, I mean, if you really want to go there about reporting, or maybe you should just keep the freaking mouth shut about who should be reporting who. Those people over there claiming to be their friends don't give a shit about them. Otherwise, they'd tell them it's time to go separate ways. They'd rather blame everyone else and use it as content. Yeah, I'm not in the business of trying to interfere in people's relationships. Maybe you all are, but I'm not. Capri saying, is it possible this didn't qualify to be reported? There you go, Capri. I clouded the bell for you. Oh, and then at this point, Lufa decided to blart her stupidity just all over the rest of this chat. Just, just all over it. If she were suicidal, why isn't she at a hospital? That's what they do when you threaten self-harm. I've been there. Oh, yes, because every mental health issue is cookie cutter, according to Lufa. Since, I don't know, because her mental health issue was treated a certain way, everyone's should be treated exactly the same way. And she has the inner workings of everyone else's treatment. She's able to know them intuitively just from what they say in a YouTube stream. Oh, Laura, yeah, you're not getting redacted for something this stupid. Her voice is so hoarse, proud for being choked and screaming, or trying to anyway. You know, Laura, I remember siding with you when NC abused you 2 straight nights. And you went crawling back to her after she did it. Notice you got your wrench back. Apparently, you proved yourself well enough. Well, here goes Lufa again. Well, these so-called nurses bully too, so they don't care. Their hate trumps the right thing to do. Well, what is the right thing to do, Lufa? Was it trying to report Jessica Lynn and get her put in jail for probation violations? How's that working out for you now that Jessica Lynn and Natasha Cooper are teaming up? How's that working? Is that causing any stress in their relationship? How are you feeling now that Jessica Lynn is hanging out? Hmm? Bet that's awkward. Oh, here's Lufa again. If I knew where they worked, I would report them. We know you would, Lufa. They take care of vulnerable people who are sick. For nurses to be this hateful is disturbing, and the public needs to know, in my opinion. Well, it's a good thing you're in the dark because your judgment is shit. Here's a fun fact about Lufa. She was trying to attack Jamie. And when I said something, she said, I don't know you, bitch. And I said, you turned on me twice. And she knew she turned on me twice because I've told this story on stream. Oh, not passing it on me. And you know who came to Lufa's defense? AJ, the person whose attacks on Lufa got Lufa to attack me in the first place and turn on me. It would be a full circle moment if AJ and Lufa just became the best of friends. Oh, here's Lufa. Voices domestic violence isn't as important as mental health. What the hell, Lufa? What the actual hell? What rock have you been living under that you even quantify those things? Oh, there was no way this was getting redacted. None. Lyndon saying, Amanda Zananda was also in the chat. Don't know why that matters, but as was Siren. Isn't a pharmacist a mandated reporter? Just asking. First of all, when the whole thing with Kim and Crafton happened, I had been gone from the chat for about 30-ish minutes. I only heard about it because my sister messaged me asking if I had Crafton's phone number, and I did not. And I have no idea where they live. As I said before, who would I report to? Am I reporting to the Easter Bunny or Santa Claus? Santa Claus is always watching. But Lyndon, you have other problems in your own life and other drama that you need to attend to. So keep my fucking name out of your mouth. Lufa going off again. Damn, her whole chat is made up of abusers. So there's that, and that says a lot. Yeah, because nothing you do is abusive, Lufa. Oh no, just randomly attacking people, demanding that all your friends make choices of to who they want to be friends with. None of that's abusive. Let's just have Lufa just randomly falsely accuse people of all being abusive to their partners or their children. Lufa again. It's not my business if Kim wants to stand by Crafton, but don't enable him or join in to help him abuse other women. Lufa. You have gone off the rails. You're beyond the rails. You've like fallen off in the ocean. There are sharks circling your locomotive. Mean and stupid is no way to go through life, said in a Natasha Cooper stream. Lufa again. So disappointed in the people I thought were decent in that chat. I would wager that she has no idea who was actually in that chat. She's too busy sucking up to Natasha. Reminds me of Deliverance. What? Deliverance with the four guys going canoeing down the river? How does that work? Are there banjos? Are there hillbillies at the top of a cliff? Is there Burt Reynolds with a bow and arrow? They think everyone over here is stupid, lol. Well, look at what Lufa's saying. And here she goes again. If they really cared, they wouldn't associate with DV perpetrators, child abusers, and mom abusers. How thirsty do you have to be? See, look. They think everyone over here is stupid? Look. Look at what she's trying to do. This didn't work when she did it in community posts, and this isn't working either. What's an absur, by the way? I'm not a fucking idiot bish. You can't use a quotation mark to make a contraction, first of all. That's not how you spell that word. And bish is not a word. Here goes Lufa again. Lufa saying it's all Natasha's fault they act like this. That's the closest thing to being correct that she said. It's not, but it's the closest. People are responsible for their own actions, Lufa. However, how many times has Robbie said about Mrs. P's actions? If you come at her, you get what you get. Not saying I agree with that point of view, but how many times has he said it? Someone's saying to Natasha, you're treated, her treated what? You're treated worse than these killers on the true crime cases are treated. And it doesn't make sense to me. You don't do anything to these people and only respond when they attack you. She's treated worse than somebody who gets the death penalty. She's treated worse than death row inmates, than people who have lengthy prison sentences. And Natasha Cooper only responds when people attack her. Hooker didn't attack her. She went right at Hooker because Hooker was friends with Scotty. Oh, and now we're to the most recent thing. Natasha, you did the right thing with Mrs. P. You did everything you could. The fuck she did! I'm so sorry things like this happen when wicked people get involved. Natasha, you are the wicked person. Where's the 20K that was supposed to be used for this? Tell you where it wasn't. It wasn't finding Mrs. P an attorney. This actually makes me sad because I think Mrs. P's biggest problem on here is that she wants these people to be her friend and she trusts them. Yes, she did trust Natasha. That was her problem. We don't need it either. Well, sorry, bud, but it's Natasha's chat. You never had a say. It's not fair on the community either, who have to put up with it over and over like a broken record and watch what happens to Natasha, her family, and our community subs, mods. Nothing happened to Natasha. She didn't lose the case or the hearing, whatever. She didn't lose. Mrs. P lost. Natasha just took a blow to her pride. And this is the worst freaking comment I saw. The worst one. Which is why this isn't redacted. Because everyone deserves to see what this person wrote. Denise Stagner wrote, Autumn Renee, where I worked, it was locked down, and even our transport vans had cages in them. She acts up, they will medicate her with injections. It's not pretty roses. What, you're saying you want Mrs. Portland locked up in a caged transport van and chemically sedated? Double. Noodle Mash is going to run with this and make things bad for Mrs. P since Noodle Mash's new friend is Voice for the Voiceless. I have news for you. Lots of us have been hanging out in Jamie's chats for a while. Myself, Noodle Mash, Voice of the Voiceless, Robbie. Kevin Crafton. Noodle Mash is not speaking on Mrs. P. except when Noodle Mesh has said that she does not want Mrs. P harassed. She has said that multiple times. Don't you dare be so hard on yourself. You've been more support to Mrs. P than anyone could ever be. Really? I tried to get Mrs. P to knock off the bullshit so there wouldn't be a lawsuit, period. Period. That's the kind of support Mrs. P actually needed, not someone who decided that she would go in and try to bend the judge to her will by her sheer force of her presence and allow her mods to all go listen in when they weren't supposed to be there. People think all this bullying crap is a game. This is not a game, people. Wake the fuck up. And yet, bullying is all NC and crew do. It's what gets her constantly reported. Actually, it's sick of them to see MP enjoying herself and then manipulate her. In my opinion, not my kind of people. And yet, NC constantly did that. I know patience is not her virtue, but if she could have just hung on for a little longer, this could potentially have been resolved peacefully for both Mrs. P and even Noodle Mash. It would have been peaceful in the first place if people would have stayed the hell out of it. And you know who you are. Again has Hooker, text, call, or reached out to Natasha in the pursuit to help Mrs. Portland. Well, you all know how I feel about Hooker's efforts to help Mrs. Portland, but let's just assume, just for a second, that they were honest, forthright efforts to help Mrs. Portland. Hooker was in Natasha's chat for months. Months. There's no moment when Natasha did not know what was going on between Hooker and Mrs. Portland. Hooker has admitted to having fights with Natasha about Mrs. Portland. Natasha knew. Mrs. Portland saying I'm getting so sick of being mentally and verbally abused by everyone. I'm sick of being told who I can or can't be friends with. And Jamie went over this, but what you all don't know is, well, Natasha gave some lovely words about how she wasn't telling Mrs. P who she could or couldn't be friends with. All Natasha's mods were on her case about it. You see, if Natasha has other people do the nasty, dirty work for her, she keeps her hands clean and can go on and say things like, "Oh, I never told Mrs. P who she couldn't be friends with." And yes, Mrs. P, you are being spied on at every turn. You already know that. Quite the turn from saying that Natasha wasn't using her, though. She says, the way you use everyone just to benefit you. She says, I hope one day you cross the wrong person. You need to learn how to properly treat people. Well, she's 46, almost 47 years old. If she doesn't know by now, I don't think it's happening. And Mrs. P has now blocked everyone. But now we have Miss Natasha's chat going again. I've realized we cannot love this woman to better behavior. She needs to have a very long time out. Yes, Natasha does need a very long time out. YouTube has given her at least 17 long timeouts, but she won't stay gone. Someone said, wow, I can't believe this. How can you not believe it? This is what Natasha does to everybody. Someone else who's a mod saying Natasha had no benefit here. Good gravy. No benefit? Natasha had somebody to use to attack Noodle Mash. And attack Noodle Mash Mrs. Portland did for weeks. That's exactly what Natasha wanted. Mark my word, by the time it's all said and done, her and Noodle will be friends. They would be friends now, but you all wouldn't stay the heck out of it. So stay the heck out of it. I think that Mrs. P has Leviathan around her. This causes confusion, and no matter how you try to explain it, she will not understand. Well, I wouldn't understand it either if you told me that I had a sea serpent around me. And yes, now that I've looked it up, I do know what it means. That is what happened. Noodle Mash silenced Mrs. P forever and thinks she can do it to everyone now. No. Does Mrs. P sound silenced? Hello, darkness, my old friend. The sound of Mrs. P's silence. She is not silenced. Man. Well, I'm sorry, Mrs. P, but this is how it has to be. You have to be silenced forever. Sorry, you've got the hydrophobia. We got to go behind the barn. Are you people kidding me? She is not silenced. Mrs. P is not Old Yeller. That's it. I'm done. I didn't tell you all. I had over 100 slides. But here we are. Hey, if you all enjoyed all of this work that I have collected and presented to you, then throw me a like. And subscribe if you're new. And uh, if you're watching this later, leave me a comment. I'm going to be clocking in at right around 2 hours. This was a leviathan of a video. So, uh, anyway, you all know the drill. Comment, rate, subscribe. Um, if you feel so inclined. Um, the super chats, super thanks, super stickers, all that's in there. The Cash App's there, but by no means feel obligated to do all that because I know this is the Christmas season. So I would be content if you just hit the like button and watch my ads if they're in there because like those pennies do add up. And anyway, ooh, these eyes are fierce. Mm. So anyway, I will see you all next time for something that is maybe not so gargantuan. It will not be a leviathan of a stream next time. I assure you.